Hey everybody, happy Friday. I hope y'all's week went well. But even if it didn't, the weekend is here, okay? Okay, so I'm back for another review of Ready to Love. But before I get into it, I want to thank everybody who has liked the video, subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate it. And if you're watching this now and you haven't subscribed, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and like the video. And I just want to shout out while I have a chance everybody who's been supporting the channel. It really means so much to me. And here we go. So review, Ready to Love season 9. It's our episode 13 of this season, but for some reason it's saying episode 56, whatever. Fort Worth reunion, part 1. Okay, honestly, this wasn't about much until we get to the end when I'm triggered again. Straight Remington rifle triggered. Anyway, so why was Jonathan in a pink faux tuxedo? See, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. We're talking about people, to take a line from Koshia, these men just aren't up to snuff, even after they've had a chance to check themselves. Okay, Tommy is not asking the right kind of questions for us to get to the bottom of this shit. Because honestly, this episode, this whole thing could have been an hour and a half season special. We do not need 2 weeks of this shit. Anyway, so Maya was very much so giving prom. Okay, but she's beautiful, so she can work anything. We get the whole playback from the season. We didn't need it because we were there. Anyway, so we get the ugly 40-year-old DJ in the screen. I was like, oh, I forgot about you. Then we get Alexis Mickey Mouse ass with that ponytail. That is not made for you. Your face is too thin, darling. It's too thin. But I'm going to come back to her. So we get Patrice and Alonzo, one of the two couples that apparently have found the connection at the end of the season. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I never saw it for Patrice and Alonzo together because I could just tell what kind of guy Alonzo was. But after seeing the way Patrice kind of flipped on Vanessa and the way she was moving, I didn't like that. I didn't like it, and I don't like chicks like that. Anyway, so why was Mika so surprised, or it looked as if, but all we have to work with is the edits they give us. Why was she looking so surprised when they was doing the rollback of Patrice and Alonzo? And Patrice was saying William and Alonzo were her strongest connections. I was like, don't be. She was fronting the whole time. She was going to stay on there to get advertisement for her shit. So Tommy asked about their relationship now. Patrice said after they committed, that at that moment, he gave her a key to his place. She said, he told her, like, you're the only one I want to be with, this, that, and the other. And she said she believed him. She says 3 days later, she drove to his house and caught him with another chick. Alonzo then proceeds to give us some bullshit story. And you know it's bullshit by the way it sounded. I knew his type when we first saw him on camera. I wasn't here for it. Nevertheless, we get that dumb doo-doo-doo-doo-doo music playing because we know it don't make sense. All right? So when he said, why would I give a key if I was going to be playing around? Yes, that's the question. But that's the exact reason why you would do it. To give her the impression you weren't playing around. The problem is you too fucking dumb to know that shit wasn't gonna work on nobody. Damn sure not no grown woman with gas money. Like, Ninja, are you for real? 3 days later? Cut it the fuck out. So Tommy started asking more basic questions, but he is a terrible liar. I mean bad. Like an 8th grader who's lying about not doing their homework and making up some wild story, which ain't even worth it because it ain't that deep. So he was dating and sleeping with other women during the entire process. Like I said, especially this crew that was on there the longest, that made it to the lake house kind of thing. Y'all all sat down and LeBron was like, ain't nobody married to nobody. Everybody kept acting like, oh, it was Vanessa, because she was quietly, whatever, feeling whatever. Nobody's married to anybody, no more getting salty, this, that, and the other. You went along with that. You made Chaz an extra connection. So as far as I'm concerned, it didn't seem like you was hell-bent on anybody. You went in that room crying over William. Next thing you know, you in Chaz's room praying for him. Girl, miss me. Okay. So, Tommy asked there any chance of repair. She was like, there is not a chance in hell. So Alonzo then goes into the confession booth, which they have after, as if we're going to get something drastically different at that point, because we're not. And he is saying that he thinks it's bogus that he can't have a female friend that he slept with, baby, because y'all aren't friends. And she doesn't think y'all are friends. That's why she was willing to sit down with Patrice and tell her what y'all had been doing, because she wanted her to leave you because she thinks that'll free up the space. Whoever she is, I'm just telling you right now, sis, I know how that feels, but baby, he belongs to whoever will take him. I wouldn't even say he belongs to the streets, because the streets not checking for him like that. But anyway, Patrice, I'm glad you left the confession booth before you mess up your makeup by crying, darling. Because as far as I'm concerned, there is no reason to cry over that sorry ninja. And you know what? You a little too old for the bullshit. You what, 42? Last time we checked? You knew better than that. That's just the kind you like. Okay, you got what you wanted, okay, which was advertising for your little stretch buses or whatever. You couldn't tell what kind of person he was when you met him. Girl, bye. Yes, you knew. You just liked it anyway. So anyway, we get Will, Mika, Koshia, and Alexis on the stage. That group. Patrice, I think, is on there. Just them, and they're talking. I thought they were going to talk about the master plan, but of course they're going to say that until next week, because they gave us a bunch of bullshit for something that could have been an hour and a half. Anyway, so they showed when Patrice talked about him having a pallet on the floor. I mean, Koshia called it a pallet, but I like that better. On the floor he was showing, and you were sleeping on the floor. You up here talking about, she said, well, you said that basically that you were staging a house. She was like, when you talk about staging a house, there's no furniture in there, because the people who are there or come to see the house are coming to imagine what this house would look like if they lived there. So their furniture, their antiques, their pictures, whatever. And he claims he's a real estate developer, and so therefore he has multiple homes. That doesn't explain why you had a pallet on the floor. Cut it out. So him and Mika get into it, and he was like, you know what, whatever. She was like, they all of a sudden started going back and forth. And Tommy's like, wait a second, how did this start? She was like, he got mad because the women called him thirsty, and he was. All right, he was like, what would I be thirsty for? You a baby mama with her tubes tied. I said, hold up. Hold up. First of all, her being a baby mama or having children is not just offensive to Mika because you said it in a way that was designed to offend her. Then that means you talking about Rashina, you talking about Patrice, you talking about Vanessa, you talking about almost every woman on that cast. How dare you, sir? Or half the women on that cast. And with her tubes tied, how the fuck you know her tubes are tied? And then Mika went in on him. She was like, you thirsty, you ugly, you bad built, your skin is, I think she mentioned, maybe when she said ugly, I don't know if she said ugly, but his skin is bad, and I just feel like that should have been in the read somewhere. And and he was like, you got a BBL, is that and the other. He was like, your body ain't real. She said, your chain ain't real. April was me. Just take it all. Okay? First of all, I don't like the fact that men are sitting around always trying to critique women's bodies and your body ain't this, your body ain't that, which is exactly why women go and get their bodies done like that. Let's not front. Because you know that's the main reason why. We don't see that with lesbians. We don't see gay women butcher their body for strictly only cosmetic purposes. Not like breast cancer or cancer or anything like that, or people who transition. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about purposely for the aesthetic. That's because men make them feel that way. So how dare you with your ugly ass? I told you, if you want to be ugly like that, you need to at least be nice. And you not either one. Like, I just don't get it. You had a chance to try to fix this shit and you couldn't do it. So Tommy asked Patrice if she regretted saying what she said because it affected everybody. First of all, no. She was like, no, I think he could have explained that better. He couldn't explain it better because in the words of Mika, he's a scammer. I don't believe it. You're not a millionaire. And Mika's point was always my point. Men who have that kind of stuff don't have to tell you. That's what insecure people do. And liars. All right, anyway. So, he was like, well, you influence everybody. And let me tell you, Koshia and Mika didn't hardly let Tommy get that out of his mouth. They were like, no. That didn't change what I thought about him. That was all based on things I had already seen. That was her experience. But that was not the reason why I felt that way. We know that. I don't care what y'all say. Will still look like his name should be Eric. That's just me. All right. So Will claims he then gets a statement in because Alexa and Mika get into it. And he was like, well, look, maybe I shouldn't have offended Mika, but I felt disrespected. Okay, so that's not an apology. Mika don't owe you shit. You came out the gates blasting. You a baby mama, what I did. You were thirsty. You wanted to be on TV. I hope you got some money to at least, get you a little inflatable mattress or something. All right. Anyway, so Alexis started going off on Koshia and Mika, and they this and they that. And I was like, see, here we go. And Mika was like, why are you talking so much? And honestly, that could have been the read of it all. She was like, you weren't even here the longest. Neither was Koshia. But that ain't the point. They don't dislike her the way they dislike Alexis, because Alexis is the reason why Koshia got kicked off. So this is my read on Alexis. Alexis is a jealous, catty bitch. All right? And she's one of those chicks, and this is just my estimation. I'm speculating here, but this is what I think. One of those chicks who thinks that she was supposed to be the prettiest in the room, because her light skin was really supposed to take her part. And that's what I think she thinks, okay? And then found out around the age of like 18, 19, when she went to college, that she wasn't the prettiest in the room, and that there are many beautiful women, especially beautiful black girls. And when she found out she wasn't the prettiest and wasn't going to be seen as the prettiest, she decided she would dedicate herself to being a pick-me bitch and just make the pretty girls look bad. So that's why she's on this cast, fucking with the Mikas, the Koshias, the Patrices, because it's like, oh, wait, there are other pretty women too. Now let me make them look bad because I need to make sure that I get all the attention. That's what I think. Okay? And it is what it is. All right. And I think that's why Mika and Patrice in particular are such a trigger for her. Okay. And her next go-to, yeah. And all she did was make herself look crazy. But stick a pin in that, because I'm going to get back to that. So they bring Glenn out. Tommy is still on his fuck shit. Okay, so what? So what? The man turned around and decided he wanted to be on a reality show. Reality TV is not for everybody. And it clearly isn't for him. I could tell by how just hard this was to watch, this little piece. So I'm with Rashina. He was cute. And I said that. I said in the first episode, I was like, he was the cutest one of that group. That was that Dominique group and shit. So LaRon was like, I didn't know you were real. And apparently Mika thought that too. LaRon, I don't understand how you were casted before somebody like Justin. I really don't. But anyway, so he got nervous, bless his heart. So when the producer asked him in the confessional, why does he think he's ready to love? And he said, well, what else is there? Like, I'm going to be honest with you. It sounded good, but when I saw him, for some reason, I was like, I don't believe that bullshit coming out of his mouth. I didn't believe it. It sounded nice. It's just something about him. You know how they say it's in the eyes? I could just tell. Well, here we go. It didn't take long. So he lied and said he took his son to school and then got into a wreck that day. I was like, but you got in the car from a show to go there and then decided to turn around? Nigga, you got nervous. Excuse me. Boy, you got nervous. So he's a fucking liar. And when he said that, I was just like, you were in a wreck. No paramedics looked at you. You took your son to school and then got in a wreck. Like, that just seemed like a whole lot of. Anyway, but I'm actually glad he ran because we got Justin, and Justin is much more pleasing to the eye. All right, so they're going to let him get speed dating around with the ladies for the night. Who said the women wanted to participate in this? Who said that? Maybe they don't want to meet Glenn. Okay, they had to go and endure this shit on TV. What are you talking about? So he went backstage, and Alexis is the first one talking, and she called the bullshit. Honestly, I thought it was bullshit too. But she questioned him, and she was like, so why didn't you show up? And he was like, because there was a wreck, this and the other. And she was like, nah, I'm not going to let you use that as an excuse. When I tell you he got up without, like, it was almost like he floated, and went and introduced himself to somebody else, and literally walked away and started talking to other people. I was like, ooh, ouch, that got caught on camera. Anyway, Lein, who I remember being very beautiful, very tall, and then you remember she left? So she said she had to leave for family issues, but her family's doing much better now. We hope so. Chad said he was devastated when she left, and Tommy was like, yeah, but you had a lot of connections. You had a lot of connects. And I'm just sitting up here like, you are so full of shit. Like, is it designed to... And everybody was like, oh, whatever. As soon as they showed Chaz, I mean, this was like, no, let's listen to him. But I feel like that was the read. I feel like that was, let's see what kind of bullshit he's about to say. All right, so Tommy asked her if she, um, because she's back, and was able to tape for this part, and she was like, it was really kind of sad watching it. You know, I kind of missed out on the process. And he was like, well, is there anybody in this cast you would want to reconnect with? And once again, we get the smart women, of course, recognizing that Chaz ain't shit. And she was like, no, I missed out on the process. She was like, I'm dating, and the person I want is being molded for me. I said, good for you, girl. Next, we get Alonzo and Koshia. We are back to the choked and spanked thing. Koshia, shout out to you for not dealing with it. You don't need to say anything else. Alonzo has already told us by the beginning of this episode, showed us what kind of fucking liar and asshole he is. You don't owe him a goddamn thing. Okay? And I personally think, I don't like the way that was handled. I don't like it. So they show when Koshia got his ass together at the table, and for some reason the way they were showing people's reactions was like they were seeing it for the first time. Y'all know y'all watched this before. Anyway, so Patrice took up for him originally, was just like, I haven't seen any of that. I was like, that ninja is still lying. And it was sexual. What do you mean it wasn't? And he was like, well, even when you kiss somebody, you choke them. And Tommy was like, no, you don't. Maya was like, it's possible. That ain't the point, though. And Koshia made the point. She was like, LaRon knows. Chaz knows. She said, I didn't want to play that game with you. So when I told you it was inappropriate, you should have moved on. But she was like, basically, we've already talked about that. And so, whatever. Alonzo must smoke a lot of weed because he don't seem to really, like, react to even other situations. Like, it's just kind of like, it is what it is. Anyway, so Patrice was like, well, me and Alonzo were on a level where I didn't find it offensive. I didn't say it wasn't sexual. I just didn't find it offensive. And I was like, okay, but now you find all of his behavior offensive. So the next time a woman is telling you something, I'm not saying every time a woman says something it's true, but just stay alert. Stay alert. Anyway, so the games from the season we saw, we don't need that playback. So Alexa and LaRon get into it because they're playing a game about who said what to who, stuff that wasn't aired or whatever. And they said something about being a snake. Turns out it was Jonathan who said it. But LaRon couldn't keep his fucking mouth shut and goes, Alexis, and then him and Alexis start to get into it. Go back and forth. He's like, you out cubic zirconium. She was like, you a dork. You a nerd. And them reads that he was trying to give her cubic zirconium. Use a whole bitch for that. I don't even like Alexis at all. Okay? But she the only one that ended up giving this episode anything worth our time. I don't know who told y'all to edit it this way, but we are not here for it. We are not here for the people we forgot about. They don't need a whole thing. They don't. They don't. Okay? So they're going back and forth with it. Am I the only one? Justin comes. First of all, we see a producer, bodyguard, whatever, probably a bodyguard, just like somebody that was working on set, start to walk over, I guess, to calm her down. But her and LaRon are both cursing each other out. LaRon is a good 300 pounds. And Alexis looked like she might be 120 pounds wet. Okay? So he's still going off, cursing her out. Okay, first of all, we have enough evidence from this season with the way he acted toward Koshia at that pajama party, because he didn't like the fact she was talking to other men, the fact that he called Maya out of her name at the club because another guy was talking to him, but he didn't deal with no man like that. So they're getting into it. Why is a male producer walking over? She was like, he's not about to do nothing. Justin comes over and tells her, you need to be quiet. You need to be quiet. No, fucking tell that grown-ass fucking man that thought it was a good idea to start shit with her and not know how to shut the fuck up. Because at the point you would have shut the fuck up, you would have just made her look crazy if she was going off. Then you got, Chaz wasn't being aggressive, but he was still like, just calm down. He didn't need to go over. We didn't need all of that. Then you got Will coming over there, and I guess he calls himself kind of supporting her. But you got fucking 4 grown-ass men around this one woman while LaRon sit his fat, ugly, tired ass up there on a goddamn stool with no back, and he about to break the fucking chair anyway, send his ass to the back of the stage. I did not like that. 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 And I think that was unnecessary, and I think it was inappropriate for men to handle women like that, and they some bitch-ass motherfuckers. And Tommy, you helped that along by continuing to talk to Alexis instead of checking that man. You looking like the bitch you are too, okay? And then she was about to fight Mika. I'll fight you, bitch. Now, something about the way she said it said she was willing to fight him. But something about the way Mika is built said Mika would have beat her ass. Nevertheless, and Will is talking to her, they're not going to don't let them get the best of you. She said, they're not going to get the best of me. They're going to get the worst of me. I spent money. I was like, well, chick, I'm sure everybody, like, ain't y'all in the same city? They go to LA or something? I don't know. And she's like, fuck that. Y'all don't get no confession. Y'all don't get shit out of me. This, that, and the other. And I understand they got the worst of you. And yes, you had every right to be angry. So I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say, the thing is, Alexis, the reason why you have reasonable people like Rashina, and the others just kind of like, fuck it, it's because they don't like you for what you did. But there does need to be something clear that says all those men going to her and not to LeBron to calm him down, because he's fucking aggressive and has shown that. And we all know with a push, he could have pushed Alexis on the floor. Not that I necessarily think he was going to do that on stage, but that's the point. They could have just gone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I don't like that shit. So then we get the preview for next week, and Chaz has the motherfucking nerve to call Vanessa a goddamn narcissist. And she was like, first of all, that didn't land. That withering flower didn't land the way you want. I wasn't trying to get it to land. I think you're a narcissist. She was like, I'm not unlovable. I'm not this. He was like, I didn't say that. Motherfucker, you did. You did. We not about to do this playing semantics. Well, there may have been a comma where I meant to have an ellipses. Cut that shit the fuck out. Because what you're not about to do is gaslight the entire audience. And you need to take... First of all, motherfuckers who swole like that for no reason, there's something they're trying to compensate for. And trying to tell us that you are spoken for, you are getting married. When did this show get done taping? I know it only had to be a few months ago. He lying. He ain't got nobody. He'll come back out in a month. Well, it didn't work out. Yes, because you lied. You lied, bruh. You lied. Okay? Because you still trying to pick your face up off the floor because you was waiting to try to embarrass Vanessa, or you didn't expect her to say what she said. You's a whole bitch. That whole withered flower thing was weird. And if you get a bouquet like that, you're supposed to take that one out. Stop playing with me, bruh. Stop playing with me. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, please, because I'd love to know what y'all have to say. And I will see y'all soon. Have a good week.